All right, we are recording, so no curse words or anything. All right, so thank you for all three of you for joining. I will be putting this up as a quick YouTube video and then sending it out to everyone else, just because there are a lot of things. This is a lot of moving parts happen on these days because there's going to be 5 different events, 5 different service projects all going on at the same time. And we rotate after 45 minutes. So let me kind of go through all of this. I want to go to the screen share and let's see. As I said, it's been a while since I've done this. Sharing mine. Where's my agenda? Here's the agenda. Okay, so the big reason I want all of you there at 1 o'clock on Sunday is because the students will just start coming at 1:30, even though it says it starts at 2. When we did this for the first time last year, we wound up with well over 150 students, and it took almost until like 2:45 to get everybody checked in. And that's because we had a list of those who were there and we were physically checking them off, and that takes too long. So for those of you that can come at 1, and I think almost everybody who I heard from said that they could, I want to show you like where the different projects are going to happen, as well as where the bathrooms are, things like that. So I haven't printed them out yet, just in case any changes to the roster for the students if somebody says they can't make it. But I have their name tags done and your name tags done. Everybody's already been assigned a group, and that doesn't change. You may or may not see your child. They may be in your group, they might not be. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we'll have the name tags laid out. I have printed out everybody by alpha order, as well as I have them grouped by the different projects. So between the 2 sets of lists, kids should be able to pretty easily figure out where they are. But we do that because when I'll show you the name tags, it has images that show from what group they're going to start and then where they're going to rotate to for their second rotation, so that they can't try and be in another group. So you'll be able to look at their name tag and know if they should be in your group at the first time or the second time. Once they're all in, and it might be I'll have some of you continue to check kids in, then we will go ahead and get started. I will do an opening prayer. A quick explanation of the day does not take long. Then we've got here, we've got this YouTube video. It's about 8 minutes. And it is of a youth talking about like a TED Talk type thing on the importance of youth volunteering for others and how it not only helps society, but it helps themselves. And then from there, we're actually going to go at 2:30 into our first round of projects. Of the 5, the bed build is the only one that doesn't rotate. They will go over, we only have 2 of our adults as the group leaders for that, because there are only 16 kids in that group. The other groups have like 22 kids per there if everybody shows. The 16 of the students in the bed build and the 2 adults will go to where that happens. That's right across the Hurlburt Court. And they'll be with Dan Harris and like another 8 adults. So they're well taken care of. The 4 projects, I should say, are, we have 2 of these, what I called, they're like Velcro ones. The Kelly Kruger in Prayer and Worship has come up with these busy bags that you may have seen at church for younger students. And one of the things that is in there are these laminated little play cards, sort of, from Autumn, which is a religious store. And it might have the fruits of the Holy Spirit. And then we have these cut out little circles and you Velcro them onto the right thing. Or it'll say the Our Father, and then you put in the words of what they are. And so those are labor intensive on getting the Velcro cut, put on the proper side, and then positioned. And we've got about 90 of these. So 2 groups are going to be working on those in the first rotation. And the groups who are working on the birthday bag and the cookie bag for the first round of rotation, then they will swap. So everybody does some Velcro, and then everybody's putting together at least one kind of bag and making some cards. After this first round of projects, then we're going to have about a half an hour. And we figured out last January, this past January, when it was our second time doing this, because we only do it twice a year, that if you give the kids some time in between to kind of run around and do whatever they want, then they are much better behaved for the rest of the time that we're together. I also have emailed the families saying to have the kids bring in snacks and water bottles. One thing that we always have to be careful of is when we have groups of kids or kids on their own going off to a bathroom. We need to make sure that they actually are going to the bathroom and that they come back in like 2 minutes. So we actually, luckily, have enough adults where each of these 4 groups will have 4 adults with them, but also technically 5, because the 5th are ones who are going to hopefully help you keep everybody, like behavior-wise, check the bathrooms, make sure kids aren't on their phones, things like that, and making sure that they're having fun, but really paying attention and doing a good job on whatever their project is. Then after they have their free time, they will go for their second round of doing 45 minutes of service. At the end, we will all come back and meet in the Koenig Center and then kind of invite some students to share what they got out of the day. Then we'll have closing prayer, and students will either then go to Mass or their parents will be picking them up. So just to kind of go over the different projects. So here again is the bed ministry, and Mr. Harris, Dan Harris, who is our facilities manager, he is in charge of this. We will have our 2 adults and 16 students walk over there, and they will stay there the whole time. Then for these 2 Velcro bags, I just came up, this is actually this What I See at Church, and the Hail Mary. The What I See at Church is actually already put together, but these were like the only images I could find online for the name tags. And then the Hail Mary ones, these are the same. So what I have, and I have another document to show you for these, is let's say there's about 22 students in the group. I suggest initially all of them start working on the 2 different types of the Velcro, the rough side and the soft side, because that's what takes a long time, is cutting the Velcro. Then when they have those done, when they have a good amount, then half of the students will start taking the Velcro pieces and putting them on either this board, and the rough size goes on the play card itself, and the soft Velcro goes on the little circular play pieces. Same with this one here. So half of the group will be cutting Velcro. Of that half of those, so 1/4 of the group will be cutting the rough side of the Velcro. The other quarter will be doing the soft side. And then the other half of the group, one of them will be taking some of the soft side and putting it on the little play pieces. The others will be taking the rough side and putting it directly onto like the little circles here or the little white rectangles here. So these are the busy bag ones. And then the 7th, these bags for the food pantry, these are really pretty easy. The first group is going to, because we don't know how much is going to come in, because it depends upon how much the students bring. And the first group, whoever is for that first rotation for both of these birthday bag and the cookie, they're just going to unpack all of the things in the bags that the students initially bring in. So we're going to have those cafeteria tables down, and one long cafeteria table will be for the birthday bags. So bring out all of the cake mixes, put those together. Bring out all of the frosting, put those together. Group everything into components. And then likewise for the cookies, it will be, let's get out all the cookie packages, the plastic gloves, things like that that are needed. And then the rest of the time that they're going to be there are making either birthday cards, or for the group that are doing the cookies, they're going to be making cards that we're not putting them in the bag because they're just cookie bags. They are going to make cards for the local nursing home. Here, there's Thrive. It actually lives, it's right where I live. But the thing is, for those of you that are going to be leaders for the birthday bag and the cookie bag, the big thing is we really want the students to make quality cards. Our very first time doing this last November, we got a lot of crap, for lack of a better word, and we couldn't use it. So that's why we're asking kids, bring in your own markers, because some of them have like really nice colored pencils and markers, and to take their time. I will try and come up with like sheets of different expressions they might want to use, but also encourage them to come up with something on their own for the birthday message, or especially for those who are in nursing homes. They can, I'll come up with some like scripture quotes or anything that they want to try and bring some joy. But that's also a good opportunity for some discussion within those groups on, if it's your birthday, what would you wish somebody said to you? Or if you're, homebound or in a nursing home, what would be something that would be uplifting? And to have them think about, what would it be like to be in a nursing home where maybe you don't have any family there? What is it like where, you are living in a different socioeconomic environment, and, you can't just go out and buy anything you want anytime you want. Just to get them to kind of think about the people who we're ministering to, what their life is like. So here's the birthday bags. They have candles, party plates, party napkins, the cake mix, frosting. The grocery bags are what all of those things are going to go into. And so that's where a number of people had asked after I sent the first email last night about bags. And so that's where all of the things for the birthday bag is going to go into those. Whereas for the cookie bag, their items are going to be store-bought cookies, plastic gloves, the Ziploc bags, and then they'll be making cards as well. All right, the next thing I wanted to show here. All right, so these are, and I will have printed out about 5 of these in the 2 different spaces where this will be taking place. So the working with these child playing cards, game cards, I don't know what they're really called. One group will be in the Lowry room, and the other group will be in the resource room, which is between the cafeteria part and the gym, one of the sides of the gym. So I just took, here's an image, and this is the 10 commandments. And then here you'll notice these are actually stickers. So one of the things that we have to make sure if you're in one of these groups is that the kids will be cutting out these circles. They're not to take the sticker off the sheet. They're cutting the whole thing out. And then on these, the little playing pieces, they're putting the soft Velcro on the back side of that. And then the card itself, the playing card, in the center of each of these circles is where a piece of the rough Velcro will go. And I have a number of these sets of Velcro, rolls of Velcro. Each little bag there has 2 rolls. One roll is the rough and one roll is the soft. So, and as I had said before, oops, sorry, half of the group should be split into 2, so into quarters. And one group's going to be cutting about 1-inch squares of the rough side of the Velcro for the playing cards. The other group is cutting the same size of the soft loop Velcro for the playing pieces. So in the beginning, you may wish to have all of the students work on that. And then once there's a nice pile of both different types of Velcro, now take the other half of your group, split them into 2. Half of them are going to put the pieces of Velcro either on in the center of these parts here on the playing card. Again, this is the rough. And then on these ones, it's the soft Velcro on the back side of it. And to see 2 examples, we have right here. So this was Fruit of the Holy Spirit, and it's kind of hard to see right here, but this is the rough Velcro. On the back side of the circles here, you can see are the soft. But then here for the Our Father, where it's the rectangle, you can see how those were put together. So it takes longer to explain how to do it than it really does to get going on it. It's not hard. It just, we want to make sure that they're not being wasteful with the Velcro. They're not messing around with scissors in any way that they shouldn't be, things like that. And for the name tags, these are what, like, you as an adult, because you're staying in your location. So any of you adults, you're only going to have the one image of the station that you're in charge of. Whereas a student, so this whole group is going to, their first rotation is the birthday bag. Then their second rotation will be doing one of the Velcro groups. Okay. And I can just kind of like go through here. And then they switch. So after the 30 minutes of fun, coming back for the second rotation, whoever was in this group, they're now just going to swap with the other one and now do the birthday bags. Same with the adults who are doing the cookie bags. And then the students who were in cookie bag, now they're going to go to the Hail Mary Velcro. And the same down at the end. And I have blank ones just in case of anything, but then I also have a number of, we've got 4 adults who they're the ones who are kind of like the classroom monitor for this. And hopefully it's really just a matter of kind of sticking to the agenda and making sure that the kids, you know, the big thing is we want to make sure that they are not goofing around. Having fun is fine. Spending 20 minutes in the bathroom, things like that, we really do not want to do. And I will say that during our very first one, I did call a parent and had them pick up their child because these kids were just so out of control. However, because that was our very first one, it also turned out that of the 20 some adults, 5 showed up. And we had well over 150, closer to 160 students, which is why we cap it to the 90 now. And then there's a 20 student wait list. And some of those kids have already moved off the wait list, but not everybody. And come time, so come Sunday, there will be a sign outside the Koenig Center doors, you know, on Maple Avenue that say, if you have not registered and if you are not off the waiting list, that they cannot be a part of this, because we just don't have the manpower or, you know, the resources to handle that high of volume of students. Having said that, are there questions that any of you have?
I have a question. I know it's
Yes.
kind of silly, but is there a certain like what should we wear? Should we just wear casual, comfortable, you know, or
I
are we
would
gonna
say
get
casual,
like
comfortable.
dirty?
I
Or...
mean, you
Okay.
wouldn't want to wear like your most grubbiest sweatpants and t-shirt, but definitely you're going to be comfortable. I mean, especially the groups with the Velcro, either in the Lowry or in the resource center, those, because you know they're not the largest, I mean, kids, or you could be sitting on the floor, things like that, so you want to be comfortable, definitely.
Okay, gotcha. And do we need to bring anything besides ourselves and like a snack and water or something, or do we need any?
No, the students
I
should
don't.
be
I
bringing
don't.
all of the items.
Okay, because I don't have any children in this, so I didn't know if you needed extra or anything, but it's all taken care of already.
It's
The
all
item.
taken care of. And
Okay, gotcha.
you know, if you know, if there aren't a lot of supplies, and I think there will be, and so things happen earlier, that's kind of why for the birthday basket one, or the birthday bag, I'm sorry, and the cookie bag, it's split so that that first group is only kind of taking all of the items out and categorizing them and grouping them together. Otherwise, they potentially could finish the whole thing, and then you don't have the other group. So once they have everything laid out and grouped together, then they're going to be spending good quality time on making these cards for the birthday bag. And likewise with the cookie one, they're going to group everything together. And then the second rotation, they're going to be putting it together, and then they will be making really nice cards for Thrive, not retirement facility, assisted living facility. So those are how those go. And if we like somehow finish absolutely everything, we still do have from last year several unfinished, those double fleece blankets that need to be like finished tied up. So we kind of have a backup for that as well. So the big thing is to keep them on target, keep them from goofing around too much, and, you know, not hanging around in bathrooms. We also need to make sure that they only stay in the Koenig Center, Lowry room, and then the resource room of religious ed. They can be in the gym during our 30-minute of time, but they should not be running around school, and they should not be in the gym unless it's at that time. Because what we'll find is, you know, probably a good portion of the kids are going to want to run around in the gym, but some are also just going to want to like hang out in the Koenig Center, and that's all perfectly fine. But what come, you know, the 30 minutes are done, then it's like, okay, now it's time to get back. But I already spoke with Mr. Schutz, who is the athletic director and the gym teacher at school, and they have 6 basketball hoops, and he told me to just take the thing, there's like a big bin of basketballs, and let the kids have fun with that. He was very kind, and anything we wanted, he offered to do.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Other questions? Not all at once.
I missed the beginning. I'm sorry. So
That's okay.
I'm going to be there with my 2 sons. So I'm assuming it's not going to be that complicated.
It is not that complicated. It's fairly easy. I've gone through it. I'm recording this. I'm going to put it up on YouTube and then send it out tomorrow. But essentially, we've got 5 different projects. One project, a group of 16 students and 2 adults are going to be joining a core group of people in the bed ministry, and they will be building beds. They don't rotate because that takes long enough. Then of the other 4 projects, 2 of which are these bag ones, the birthday bag, and then there's the cookie bag. And so that was where I was just talking about the grouping and assembling and making cards. The other 2 groups are essentially doing the same things, but on different game cards. And these are for the busy bags that get used in church for the younger students, where they will be making these here. They're going to be starting with unput together items like this. They're going to be cutting out the little pieces on here. These are stickers. And so, you know, I've got here, don't pull the sticker off the sheet. You're cutting all the way around it. And then on the back side of these is going to go the soft Velcro. And for these will go pieces of the rough Velcro. So a lot of it is you're just cutting the Velcro and getting things ready. And these are what the final products will look like. And this way, the idea for these is, again, Kelly Kruger found these on Autumn and has been putting all this together. And this way, you know, the students who are the children who come to grab these, they're not all the same. So it's not like for so many weeks, it's always the Our Father. There's like 2 or 3 different kinds in that little cart or whatever that they bring out during mass for the people to get them. Like some of the ones that we're going to be putting together on Sunday are actually for Advent. And so for those of you that might see those, it's a good way to say, hey, December 3rd is the beginning of Advent. And as a reminder to the students, that's the beginning of a new church year. And Advent is the color of purple, as well as this coming year, if any of you are lectors or involved in church, that we have 3 cycles. We have A, B, and C, and we're finishing up A right now, and that is the Gospel of Matthew. We will be starting cycle B, which is Mark, and Mark was the first of the 4 Gospels to be written, and because of that, it's pretty cut and dry. When Luke and Matthew read Mark's, and they would have known Mark's and other materials very well, they took a lot of Mark's gospel, but then they expanded it in different ways for their own community to try and answer whatever questions and issues were coming up within the community. And so Mark's gospel, because it is the briefest and it's not nearly deep like John is when it comes time for priests to work on their homilies, it's really hard to find those golden nuggets. So within the priest community, they always call this upcoming year the killer bees, because they have a killer time trying to come up with what they are actually going to be saying for their homily. Okay, anybody else? All right, well, if there are no more questions, and it looks like I only have 6 more minutes before I get cut off, because, you know, we can't do Zoom forever for free now. It's only the 40 minutes.
Oh, my real quick question is, you have the four groups. How do they get assigned? I mean, if someone wants to build the beds, do they get to do that, or is there already
no,
preset
I've already,
assignment?
everything's assigned.
Oh, okay.
That's all
Perfect.
taken care of. And on the little name cards that they have, it's printed out what they is. They have like little images on them. Let me do a quick screen share.
Okay,
Here.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, so that way they can't say, oh, but so bed ministry only has 1 here. But then you as adults, you will have just 1 on yours, because you're only at that station. So you'll have 2 rounds of kids. Whereas a student, this one, Maya's starting here at the birthday bag, but then after the 30-minute of game time afterwards, her second rotation is going to be doing one of these Velcro busy bags. And so they can't try, so like you, in whatever group you're in charge of, then you make sure that for your first round, everybody's there who, you know, has the right little image here. And then for the second round, make sure that then they have your image here. So all of these are already set. We go to like, here's like the cookies, and then the cookies and the Hail Mary. And then cookie will go to Hail Mary. Hail Mary will then go to cookie. They're just kind of swapping.
Perfect. Then we don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. Anybody else? All right. Well, then, thank you everybody for coming. And I will see you on Sunday and we're going to have fun. All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care, everyone.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.
You bet.